And why was that?
Forgery, Your Honor. Go back 7 years. Drew Misham accepts his first job creating forged evidence.
I've seen that before. A page from a diary, wasn't it? If Marie's diary.
When attorney Phoenix Wright lost his badge, yes. This was the evidence he presented to his loss. This evidence is fake, yes, but did Mr. Wright request the forgery be made? That was never proved.
Objection!
The defense attorney on that case was Phoenix Wright. Who other than him, drunk with a prospect of victory, could have done it? And why would they? Just out of curiosity, do you remember this letter? This is the first page. And this is the second.
Those were presented in court yesterday. This letter was sent to Drew Misham by the client, who requested that forgery.
The enclosed stamp was none other than the poisoned commemorative stamp. Drew Misham drew his last breath just the other day. However, the motive for his murder was already 7 years old. 7 years old. The client who requested this forgery was very cautious. He tried to erase anything and anyone with connections to the forgery. Ja, das ist ja, was ich vorhin meinte. Der hat damals wahrscheinlich die vergiftete Briefmarke mitgeschickt, nicht weil er Drew Misham umbringen wollte, sondern weil er direkt die Person umbringen wollte, die halt die Fälschung anfertigt. Ob das jetzt Drew Misham oder Vera war. Und konnte nicht ahnen, dass sie die Marke so toll findet, dass sie sie nicht nutzt.
To keep them from talking?
But he made a mistake. The stamp was a picture of my favorite magician, so I kept it. Father took me when I was very young. It was a great magic show. I loved it so much. The killer's time bomb was delayed. The poison stamp was sealed within a glass frame, where it sat for 7 whole years. Herr Forehead, do you understand what you're telling us? The one who schemed up the forged diary page was the one who poisoned the stamp, and it was Phoenix Wright who presented the forged evidence 7 years ago. Adding the two statements together, the one who schemed to kill Drew Misham was none other than Phoenix Wright.
Objection!
Sorry, but that's not how this is going to go down. Oh, then how will it go down? I checked through the records on that case when I found this. 7 years ago, just before the trial began.
Oh, old boy. Here.
What is this?
I don't know. I just got it over there in the hall. They told me to give it to the old boy in the blue suit with the spiky hair.
And one more thing.
I'm sorry to have sprung this on you so suddenly.
I received the files from your previous attorney only yesterday.
I understand I am asking the impossible of you.
Yes, well, you haven't really told me what happened yet. All we did was play cards.
And that was enough.
Phoenix Wright was put on the case the day before the trial started. He didn't have time to request a forgery. Oh, scheiße. Das ist mir nie aufgefallen, aber das ist ja total wahr. Ich meine, ja. Das war so eine Zeile, die irgendwie mal kurz rausgehauen wurde, aber stimmt. Wenn er erst so kurzfristig da draufgepackt wurde, wie hätte er dann irgendwie per Post über was weiß ich, wie viele Tage hinweg eine Fälschung von einem Beweismittel anfertigen oder anfragen sollen. He didn't have time to request a forgery. The day before? Now here's a question. Just who was Shady Enigma's previous defense attorney? Oh. Ich meine, Christoph ist ja Defense Attorney gewesen, ne? No. This can't all be. But it is all true. There was another man, a defense attorney with a badge on his collar. It was you, Christoph Gavin.
Order, order, order! What is the meaning of this? Witness, defendant, former lawyer.
Let me begin by denying this.
Objection!
It's easy enough to look up, Mr. Gavin. and impossible to prove if you can't. Huh? Attorneys are registered with the court the day before the trial begins. In other words, no record remains in the court. How exactly did you intend to prove Phoenix Wright's claim?
That would be difficult. I'm afraid this line of inquiry won't yield.
Oh. Herr Forehead, are you sure you don't have evidence? Genau. Let me begin by denying this. Das ist eigentlich ein super Satz.
What is wrong with Prosecutor Gavin? He looks clammy.
Gut, das ist jetzt wieder die Art von Prosecutor Gavin, die ich dann irgendwo interessant fand. Ne, wenn er halt anfängt. Das war ja schon damals bei Edgeworth interessant. Der hat, glaube ich, auch irgendwann mal war er derjenige, der auf einmal die Sache hinausgezögert hat, weil er auch wusste, dass die Wahrheit anders war als ursprünglich angenommen. What's wrong with Prosecutor Gavin? He looks clammy. Habe ich irgendeine Art von Evidence? Also Attorney's Badge bestimmt nicht. Ticket to the... Nein, ich weiß gar nicht, warum zur Hölle ich das immer noch habe. Envelope. Defendant's Business Card. Nein, nein, nein. Nein. Ich würde jetzt sagen, irgendwie nicht, aber okay.
What's wrong with Prosecutor Gavin? He looks clammy.
Evidence. Evidence that shows this man, Christopher Gavin, requested that forgery 7 years ago. Clever. Just prove it. Clear up these doubts now, or I swear I'm off this case.
He must have thought of some evidence.
Apollo. Prosecutor Gavin looks like he's in physical pain. Vielleicht hat er sich seit 7 Jahren gefragt, ob sein Bruder das in Wahrheit dahinter steckt oder nicht. That darkness. I have to pull the darkness out of him, and proof is the only way I can. What proves Christopher Gavin's link to Drew Mission?
Well, Mr. Justice, you claim Christopher Gavin requested a forgery of Drew Mission 7 years ago. Prove it.
It can be proven by saving and then just trying everything I have. Because I have no idea. Sei denn, ihr habt eine Idee. Simply ridiculous. Why even discuss it? This evidence does not... Are you telling the truth, Apollo Justice? I am. Then I say we give him the benefit of the doubt.
Well, very well, but if you're wrong about this, be prepared for a penalty.
Oh Gott. Your Honor, you do the defense an injustice. Kommen jetzt gleich 3 Punkte weg statt 2. Mr. Justice is clearly passionate about his client. Should the penalty not match his passion? Oh yeah.
I haven't given a penalty like that in a long time. Well, Mr. Justice.
Fine, Your Honor. All I have to prove is any kind of link. Okay, I'll just keep saving. Something that ties Christopher Gavin to Drew Mission. And I have something that clearly does the job.
Very well, Mr. Justice. Present your evidence. Show us the link between our witness and Drew Mission.
Ich würde sagen... Was zur Hölle war das? Lautes Geräusch. Das hat auch nichts damit zu tun. Ich glaube auch nicht, dass das was damit zu tun hat. Schöne Grüße. Das hat auch nichts damit zu tun. Ich meine, hier behaupten wir halt, dass es von ihm war, aber es ist ja jetzt kein Beweis. Ja, der scheiß gelbe Umschlag natürlich. This evidence proves there is a link. Objection! That scrap of paper, I'm afraid I can't let you submit that. Is there some problem? There is. How could you possibly have that? You couldn't.
Hey, that's Daddy's handwriting.
Oh nein. Ist das wieder forged evidence?
Mr. Wright's handwriting? What is the meaning of this?
Ah, I see now. Yes, of course.
What do you mean, of course?
I just remembered I had a visitor yesterday. Phoenix Wright came to my cell, except I wasn't there. Phoenix Wright? When I returned, I saw he had something of mine in his possession. Of course, I had no intention of letting him get away with reading my private mail.
Mail? You mean this letter was in your cell?
No. However, it appears Mr. Wright has yet to be cured of his bad forging habit.
Well, if it's forgery, it's not a very good one. The handwriting's terrible.
This is Mr. Wright's reproduction of what was written in the real letter.
Reproduction?
When Mr. Wright visited Christopher Gavin's cell, he brought with him a small, video camera. What? Oh, der Gesichtsausdruck ist neu. He recorded his entire conversation with you, Mr. Gavin, and the contents of your personal mail. Ist das überhaupt legal? Ich meine, keine Ahnung, in Japan ist es vielleicht legal? Ich weiß nicht.
Regardless.
Außerdem ist es ja sowieso Fiction. Vielleicht ist es da definitiv legal. Weil es gibt ja schon, ich glaube, bei uns gibt es ja schon Gesetze, dass du nicht einfach unerlaubt aufgenommene Sachen vor Gericht einreichen kannst, oder? Da war doch irgendwas.
Regardless, this mockery of a piece of evidence will never be accepted by the court. Evidence based on a video a man with no authority whatsoever claims he took.
In den USA nicht, bei uns ja, okay. Ist immer interessant, diese Unterschiede mal so zu sehen. In den USA hängt es vom Staat ab, okay.
A man who happens to be an ex-attorney suspected of forgery.
Ich meine, da hat Christoph jetzt natürlich schon einen Punkt.
Prosecutor Gavin.
Oh. Prosecutor Gavin. Wie die japanische Todesstrafe funktioniert, ist schon nicht nett. Weil die wissen nicht. Denen wird nicht gesagt, wann. Es kann Wochen, Monate, es kann Jahre sein, aber irgendwann eines Tages auf einmal steht morgens jemand da und sagt, so, jetzt bist du dran. Das heißt, Wochen, Monate oder Jahre wachst du jeden Tag auf und fragst dich, ob es jetzt soweit ist. Ich meine, ja. Ist natürlich nicht so geil. Sollte man vielleicht einfach gar nicht erst in der Situation, ist auch nicht anders als der normale Tod. Ist auch wieder, das ist eigentlich, hast du auch wieder recht. Das ist eine Assigkeit, die du fast schon wieder bewunderst. Schutz für den, der den Knopf drückt, weil 3 Personen den Knopf drücken. Aha. Okay. Anyway, Prosecutor Gavin.
As embarrassing as this is for me to say, I'm afraid my brother is incapable of making rational judgments at the moment. Your Honor, your decision, please. The defense's claim is denied.
What?
Only actual evidence is permitted in a court of law. Please remove the defense's evidence from the record. Better luck next time, Justice.
Ich hoffe nicht, Christian.
Well, we've clearly, certainly taken a detour from our cross-examination, but the defense appears to be lacking proof. I'm forced to end the cross-examination of Christoph Gavin at this point.
Apollo, do something. I'm thinking, but without evidence, I don't have anything I can use in him.
Very well, this ends the special witness's cross-examination.
Aber war das hier nicht gerade ein Testrun, wo es darum ging, dass es nicht immer auf Evidence ankommt, sondern auch noch wir dieses Jury-System haben? Das wäre jetzt vielleicht ein guter Zeitpunkt, das ins Spiel zu bringen.
Objection!
The show is over, yet the crowd screams for more. Only now do I understand why. Prosecutor Gavin? Frankly, I'm relieved. This has been bothering me for 7 whole years, and I'm tired of the whole youthful angst scene.
Now is our chance. Let's clean out the family closet, eh, Christoph? Clavier, you're spinning out of control. Calm yourself before you say something you'll regret. Spinning out of whose control? Mine or yours? Take a moment to consider everything you've built. Your reputation as a prosecutor, your fame with the masses. You could lose it all, Clavier.
Apollo, did you see that? He's trying to press Prosecutor Gavin.
Prosecutor Gavin, try to remember what is really important to you. You amuse me, her forehead. I couldn't forget what is really important to me even if I tried. In fact, I haven't. Not even once. 7 years ago. Finally, you just couldn't resist, could you, Herr Wright? Resist what? Presenting solid evidence? Might I request we put the current cross-examination on hold? The prosecution would like to call a new witness. State your name and occupation for the record. I'm familiar with the trial. I've watched the video several times. Didn't you find anything unnatural about it?
Unnatural?
Well, you did seem unusually well prepared. I mean, Mr. Wright had only just presented his evidence, and the next moment you called in Drew Mission. It was almost as if... Almost as if what? Funny, it didn't even occur to me to wonder. But now that I do, I see there's only one possible explanation. Almost as if from the very beginning, you knew Mr. Wright was going to present that evidence. Correct. I knew that if I applied the usual pressure, Phoenix Wright would eventually come up with that forged diary page. Don't do this, Clavier. I knew because you told me, Christoph. What? It was the night before the trial. Clavier. Christoph, odd seeing you at the prosecutor's office the day before the trial. I won't be appearing in the trial, actually. Huh? Why not? I won't be facing off with you on your first trial, apparently. But in exchange, I brought information. Information? The attorney who will be there in my place tomorrow is not to be trusted. Don't even give him the benefit of your respect. Listen, I want you to call in a special witness. Then... I wondered about it at the time. How did Christoph know so much? Prosecutor Gavin. Christoph, we were supposed to face each other in that trial. A fair fight, brother to brother. I deserved that much. You let me borrow the victim's belongings. You showed me all your research on the case.
The victim's belongings?
Which would have included Menifee's diary, wouldn't it?
Mr. Gavin?
My, Clavier, you disappoint me. You find trees, yet miss the forest. You're the one missing the forest, Mr. Gavin. You can't...
No, you.
You can't sweep this under the rug. Not anymore. Tell me what was going on behind that trial. Why not? I've achieved what I came here to do. I see no harm in a little reminiscing. Apollo, I think we're finally going to shine a light on the black belly of this thing, Trucy. We've done everything we could. I hope it's enough. 7 years ago, the day before the trial, I visited the detention center at the request of my client, Zach Gramarye. 2 cards. 1 card. Showdown time. Enough. You lose, Gavin. Thanks for the work. Now go. To be honest, I don't know what his reasons were to this day. As far as I could tell, he dismissed me as his representation because I lost in a game of poker. I can come to no other conclusion.
Daddy used to say something. If you want to know a man, you have to compete.
Zach wasn't watching his points or the cards. He was watching the man behind the cards, Christoph Gavin. I couldn't believe it. Phoenix Wright, a second-rate attorney who relies on luck and bluffs. He dismissed me and went with that pitiful excuse for a man. He deserved to die for that error alone. Hold it. So, the one who requested that forgery was... Oh, I'm not admitting to anything. My point is, these two men shamed me, and I could not forgive that. Phoenix Wright and Zach Gramarye both deserved what they got. So you asked Mr. Mission to forge that evidence, so you could win. But then, when you were dismissed as Zach Gramarye's attorney, you used your forged evidence as a trap. You fed me information about the forgery you made. Then you gave your dirty evidence to him. You're free to imagine what you will. My point is that all I had imagined came to pass. Everything went perfectly. Huh. Incredible. If I wasn't laughing, I would weep.
Prosecutor Gavin.
Perfectly? You're mad, Christopher. Stop fooling yourself. What are you talking about, Clavier? Tell me, how did the trial end?
Cancelled when the defendant vanished.
I get it. So, Christoph, you've been living in fear for 7 years. What? You were afraid your forgery would be revealed, your reputation trashed. You couldn't leave things to chance, so you watched everyone involved with the case for 7 years. You know, he always felt like he was being watched. That's what he said, every day for 7 years. But I felt it too. Generally, he's being watched, end quote. Don't you wonder why Zach Gramarye got dropped out over 7 years? Right after coming into contact with me?
Oh, wait just a minute. Zach Gramarye was seen by this reporter? How is that possible? Was he alive after being gone 7 years?
Finally, I knew this moment was coming. I just didn't think we'd get here so fast. Zach Gramarye gone missing for 7 years. Trucy's father. Oh, weiß sie das mittlerweile eigentlich? Sonst ist es ein bisschen Schock für sie. What's wrong, Apollo? Go get him. Right, leave it to me. Allow me to refresh the court's memory. 6 months ago, Christoph Gavin was charged with murdering a mysterious traveler.
Oh, I remember him quite well. Shady Smith, was it? Poisoned a Chinese restaurant. Tragic.
The details don't really matter right now. Außerdem, es war doch kein Chinese restaurant. What matters is that traveler was Zach Gramarye. What is it, Apollo? Huh? Keep going. We'll talk about it later. Did she already know? Ich habe jetzt auch irgendwie mit mehr Reaktionen gerechnet.
Someone please explain this. Mr. Justice, can you explain this?
It all started 7 years ago. The great magician Magnifique Gramarye's death started it. Magnifique Gramarye's death and his student Zach Gramarye, the suspect. Whoever defended Zach in court successfully would be famous beyond belief. Thinking that, Christoph Gavin did the unthinkable. He forged evidence.
Drew Mission?
Actually, it was his daughter, Vera, who really did the work. You took precautions when you had that forgery made, didn't you, Mr. Gavin?
Precautions?
To keep people from talking, of course. These two know too much. Leave them alive and there'll be nothing but trouble. That's when you planned your poisoning of the forgers. A troquinine applied to a commemorative stamp. But luck was on Mr. Misham's side. The bomb didn't go off.
His daughter. She saved him by taking the stamp, I see.
But that wasn't the only bomb he set up. The Ariadone nail polish, of course. You noticed something when you requested that forgery. When Vera Misham is nervous, she has a bad habit. A tendency to bite her nails. Oh, that nail polish was her good luck charm.
She was almost kidnapped once. Since then, she's been, well, you can see for yourself. She refuses to leave the house.
That person gave me a good luck charm for when I absolutely had to go outside. It protects me.
Yes, apparently she received something, a gift. She won't tell me what it was. It was from that client, the one who wanted that note made.
It was his insurance.
Insurance?
As long as she lived quietly at home, there was no danger to her. But what if she had to go outside? If she ran into any trouble, she'd become nervous, and the nail polish would do the rest. His time bombs sat there for 7 years, both of them, and then they went off almost simultaneously.
Crazy shit.
If you're finished, may I return to my cell now? I'm not accustomed to standing for such long periods of time.
Mr. Gavin, have you heard a single thing we've said?
Oh, I listened quite closely to your little tale. Quite an entertaining piece of fiction.
What?
Clever.
Ich weiß gar nicht, ob ich das als Richter dann gut oder schlecht finden soll. Wäre ja irgendwie spannend, aber andererseits glaube ich auch ganz schön anstrengend.
Clavier, surely you understand. We're back to the evidence, the lacking evidence. Nothing proves a link between him and the otroquinine that took Drew Misham's life.
Objection! What about the restaurant? You killed Zach Gramery to keep him from talking.
I killed no man of that name. Read over the report again if you like. The victim was a traveler by the name of Shady Smith, about whom we know little else.
Vielleicht ist er auch einfach schon zu alt für den Job. Ich meine, wie viele Jahre liegen jetzt zwischen den Spielen? Guck mal eben. Okay, ist nicht so ganz klar. Okay, das dauert jetzt zu lange, das nachzugucken.
You can't seriously think I knew he was that particularly...
Okay, nochmal. The victim was a traveler by the name of Shady Smith, about whom we know a little else.
You can't seriously think I knew he was that particular fugitive.
Objection! Okay, then why did you kill him?
I plead my right to remain silent. Remember, this court did not convene to put me on trial. The defendant's name is Vera Misham, suspected in the murder of her father. My trial has been finished for 6 months now.
I'm afraid we have strayed considerably from our purpose here. This court concurs with the witness. It is defendant Vera Misham who is on trial here.
No, but you were doing so well, Apollo.
As long as there is no evidence to support the accusation against him, this course of inquiry cannot find Vera Misham innocent.
Objection! Your Honor, Phoenix Wright spent 7 years collecting this evidence.
You still don't get it, do you? Let us assume there was poison in the nail polish. Who then was responsible for causing Vera Misham to bite her nails?
What?
It wasn't me, I know that much. The one who brought that poison to her lips was you.
What?
Evidence is everything. There is nothing more.
I believe this discussion has reached its conclusion.
Your Honor.
Mr. Justice, you have performed admirably well for a novice attorney. I respect your partner, Phoenix Wright's determination as well. However,
without direct proof, you have nothing. Isn't that right, Clavier?
Ja, aber wir sind doch immer noch hier. Das ist doch ein Testrun. Ist das allen irgendwie entfallen?
Unfortunately, yes, Christoph, you're right. That is, you would have been right until now. Oh. What? Did the news not reach your desk in solitary? The eyes of the nation are on this courtroom today. This is the trial case for a new judicial system.
That's right. I had totally forgotten, but I hadn't.
The juris system.
Jurist, you say? The current judicial system has been deemed too closed off from society. This new system attempts to inject the wisdom of common citizens into the law. Common citizens? Wisdom? Is this some kind of a joke? What could we possibly gain by doing this? Entrusting our judicial system to a mindless, emotional mob of irrational mouth-breathers? Common citizens have something called common sense. Common sense is not restricted by the law. Nonsense, there's only room for two in this court, me and the law. Keep the riffraff out. Out, I say.
They're not in the court, actually. They're watching everything by video camera. Ich hab auch gerade gedacht, die Jury zu beleidigen ist vielleicht nicht das Beste jetzt.
How can you allow this?
Incidentally, the one responsible for making this happen was Phoenix Wright.
Phoenix Wright? So everything was leading to this, of course. Right.
Oh klar, oh Gott, er wird zum Super Saiyajin. Holy shit. Oh my god.
I won't accept. I can't accept. This is no court. Law. The law is everything. Law is absolute. You let ignorant swine soil your courts.
Kristoff, it's over.
Clavier.
The law is absolute. You can't be serious.
What?
Odd. I thought you spent your life looking for loopholes. The law isn't absolute. It's filled with contradictions.
The law is the end product of many years of history, fruit of human knowledge, like a gem polished to a gleam through trials and errors. It is this fruit we receive and pass on and face in our time, and it is always changing, growing, nurturing. It is our task as human beings.
Except for you, Kristoff. You aren't changing. You've stopped. You're not needed anymore. I couldn't think of anything to say. Maybe because I still haven't seen enough. But someday I will know what law is, and I'll fight to change it if I have to. Ja, ich weiß auch nicht, so ganz ohne Beweise ist das schon irgendwie ein bisschen komisch.
I see no need to further prolong this trial. This began as the trial of Vera Misham, accused of murdering her father. The painter Drew Misham, however, several other incidents were reviewed and we seem to have reached a conclusion. Before this court declares a verdict, I await your decision. Jurists of the court, for the death of Drew Misham, how do you find the defendant Vera Misham? Innocent or guilty? I turn to you now to consider this matter.
Juris Chamber. This ends the trial for this case. Only the verdict remains to be decided. Defendant Vera Misham is currently in intensive care. If a decision cannot be reached today, it may never be reached. The factors involved are simple. Did the defendant poison her father that night? If so, she is guilty. Or was there another reason for Mr. Misham's death? Did another person poison him? If so, she is innocent. A panel has been provided for each of you to input your decisions. That is all. Please wait. Yes, jurors number 6. There's something in the jurist handbook here. Persons involved with the case may not be jurists. That is correct. I've looked into all your dossiers. None of you were involved with the development of the case. With the development of the case? I see. Does that answer your concern? It's time for your verdicts. Make your decision in the case against Vera Misham. After 7 years, the truth is ready to be heard. Judge wisely, judge well. Ja gut, ich meine... What the... Was macht sie denn da? Fühle ich mich wie bei Virtuous Last Reward. And so a verdict was reached on October 9th, 2:14 p.m. The first verdict under the jury system, innocent by a unanimous decision. The record will show that when the verdict was announced, special witness Christoph Gavin laughed, a laugh louder than any ever heard before or since, a laugh that echoed in the halls of justice, lingering for what seemed like hours. October 10, 8:30 a.m., the morning after the trial. In an intensive care ward, a true miracle occurred. Vera Misham opened her eyes. Oh nein, nicht die Hickfield Clinic.
Vera, I'm so glad. Don't cry, Apollo. I'm happy too, and proud. You did well, Apollo.
Das heißt aber, ich schätze, Christoph hat jetzt keinen schuldig bekommen, weil es ja immer noch eigentlich nur darum ging, ob Vera schuldig war oder nicht. Und das wurde dann eben durch die Jury entschieden, mangels eindeutiger Beweise. So habe ich das jetzt verstanden.
When I thought about what if Vera,
Hey now, don't you start crying too.
I'm sorry you had to see us like this.
Achso, das ist noch Apollo. Sorry you had to see us like this. Vera?
Thank you so much. Apollo, thank you.
No, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have pressed you like that. If I hadn't, you never would have bitten your nails. Ja, ich hätte eigentlich auch lieber einen Showdown gehabt, wo man am Schluss in guter alter Ace Attorney-Manier den wahren Schuldigen mit Beweisen und so weiter irgendwie hinters Licht führt. Oder sogar irgendwie mit weiß ich nicht, mit Bluffs und irgendwie ihn dazu bringt, dass er sich verplappert und man ihm alles um die Ohren haut. Dass man einfach so sagt, ja, wir haben keine Beweise, aber ist ja eigentlich auch egal. Es ist tatsächlich so ein bisschen, okay, na gut, dann ist es jetzt so ein bisschen,
No, I was wrong. Staying locked inside like that, clinging to my good luck charm.
Vera.
When I opened my eyes and saw you, I finally understood. I am going to marry you. I mean, it's important to be a part of the world. To see things with your own eyes.
It looks like that poison had some effect after all. It killed off whatever was holding Vera back from life.
I knew you'd pull through, Vera. I mean, that's what Apollo was fighting for the whole time. Your future. I won't forget it. Here, let me thank you. Later tonight.
No, really, it's okay.
Oh, look, it's me. I love it. Thanks.
Kommt jetzt auch noch Apollo? Is that me? What about my face? Like, it's not the only part defining me.
She really captured your essence, Apollo. Well, I think so. Well, I think so, at least. That reminds me. Do you know where the other lawyer is?
The other lawyer?
Oh, you mean Daddy. Except he's not a lawyer anymore. It's my fault, isn't it? I'm sorry. Oh, no, that's not what I meant. No, it's okay. I'm through looking away from the things I've done. I hope I can look him in the eyes again someday and apologize.
I'm sure he'd be happy to hear that.
He brought all those things for me when he came to visit earlier.
You mean that stack of videos? Mr. Wright finished watching them all? Apologize. End the stream.
You know, I knew my real daddy was alive.
Huh?
I was there 7 years ago, remember? I was the one who helped him vanish, you idiot, from the courtroom.
You did? How?
I'm not telling. He promised me that day he went away.
We may not meet again for some time, Trucy, but know this, I will be watching, and one day I shall return. You're the next Grandma Marie, after all.
Oh, Trucy. In the end, he couldn't keep that promise, though, could he?
It's okay. Phoenix is my daddy now, even if he can't really play the piano.
That he can't.
Oh, and I've got you too, even if your voice is kind of loud sometimes.
Glad I made your list.
Hey, come to think of it, where is Daddy? The one who can play. Do you know, Apollo?
I think he said he had to meet someone.
I wonder. Maybe it's in your mommy. Teehee. Oh, Trucy. Huh? Yes, Vera?
I was wondering,
Could you show him to me once more? Sir Hat, was it? Oh, he's not been knighted.
that's enough.
Yet.
Yet.
Here goes. Do us an impersonation, Mr. Hat.
Objection.
Not loud enough. And I like Miss Magic underwear better anyway.
That's magic panties, Apollo.
So, your memory has returned.
Mr. Wright, was this all a part of your plan too?
I don't know what you're talking about.
When I lost my memory, I was reborn as Lamoureux.
Ja, das habe ich letztes Mal schon kommen sehen.
But you knew my true identity, did you not? That is why you chose me as one of your jurists.
You're thinking into it too much. Besides, there was no guarantee that regaining your memory would make you happy.
Of course it is a happy thing. For so long I thought I was alone, but now I know I have children, 2 dear children. I'm so proud of them. This too, I think, is thanks to you.
Are you going to tell them?
They do not know?
Nope. They don't know their mother. They don't even know their siblings.
I will go to them when the time is right. Until then,
Don't worry, I'll take care of them for you. They're very important to me too. A little annoying at times, but still. I have to keep an eye on her at least, because I'm the only one who knows how she really feels on the inside. Your bracelet.
Yes.
I've seen a lot of mysterious things these past 7 years, but your bracelets were the strangest of all. I remember meeting him half a year ago now in Christoph Gavin's office. And then I met you, 2 fates destined to intertwine, and I was there when they crossed. I'll never forget that.
Such a small thing that bothered the editor who I was away. "10 years ago, during a simple rehearsal. It was a miracle no one died, but I didn't survive that accident. That is why I left the troupe, my family. Now my memory has returned. I am myself once more. For the first time, I am glad to be alive, Mr. Wright."
Speaking of miracles, Vera Misham regained consciousness this morning. I can only hope she's as glad as you are.
It is a strange thing, fate. Sometimes a life is taken, sometimes a life is spared.
You know what I've been thinking? People don't die that easily, really. As long as they've got something worth living for. And that's pretty much the end of my story, for now anyway. I've still got a long way to go, and this power of mine, well, it needs some work. But there's hope now. We'd lost it, but somehow we found it again. That's why people are smiling again. Hope. Yeah, I think I'll keep at this lawyer thing for a while. Oops, training time. Gotta go. Cords of steel. Here comes justice. Objection! Okay. Hat ja zeitlich super gepasst.
I'm glad you're staying with the agency, Apollo. It's like I found my long-lost big little brother. Oh, and don't you worry about Troupe Grand Marie. Trucy's on the case. Now that I have this, thanks to Daddy.
Trucy Grand Marie, frankly, I got my doubts, but Hat Grand Marie, no, that'll pack him in.
Wow, voll die Animation. Ja, ich weiß nicht, ich fand, das war so ein bisschen antiklimaktisch, wie man Christoph in die Enge treibt und dann it's not every day you get a trial or oh scheiße, that's why it's over. The Gaviners are breaking up. The news caused a run of tissues at supermarkets nationwide. You're the real stars now. I look forward to our next jam session.
Das Finale war irgendwie schon ein bisschen komisch, ja. Um das jetzt mal kurz zu formulieren, weil bestimmt ich gleich wieder irgendwas vorlesen muss und deswegen jetzt keinen langen Satz anfangen kann.
Well, it's finally over. You know, thinking about it, I've been a piano player longer than I was a lawyer. Now that everything's sorted and I've got time on my hands, maybe I'll take some lessons. Or maybe I'll take the bar exam again.
Ja, das hat er dann zum Glück getan. Ich meine, generell hatte das Spiel auch schon seine coolen Momente. Den Tutorial-Fall fand ich eigentlich auch ganz cool. Da gab es einige Momente, wo man nachdenken musste. Der war gar nicht so leicht und da war Mopsy, glaube ich, sogar dabei und hatte immer coole Sachen bemerkt, die mir entgangen waren.
So I was standing around eating Snickers the other day when I got this crazy idea. What if they were golden? You could augment the crunch, or better yet, make them ding. Ah, the power of science. Although the preservatives might not be 100% safe.
Aber es gab halt auch eine Menge komische Sachen in diesem Teil. Nicht nur das Ende jetzt, auch Klavier war manchmal so ein bisschen... Also wussten sie nicht, was sie mit ihm genau anfangen wollten. Oh, nicht die wieder.
In unlikely event you already think Russian feast, come to Borscht Bowl Club. The only thing colder than red drunk is Borscht. Duh, but if greater challenge is being required, then come to the hideout. You know who to ask for.
Und Phoenix war halt auch irgendwie anstrengend mit seinem... Ich bin der mysteriöse Typ, der eigentlich schon alles weiß und macht nur einen auf mysterious Andeutungen raushauen und 50 Schritte vorausahnen, wie alles ausgeht.
So, Kitagi Pastries is getting back to its Eastern roots. Spread the culture and all. Yo, boss, culture time.
This is how we write rude, capisce?
Oh, das stimmt sogar.
But we're still about giving back to the people. Yo, boss, PR time.
And this is how we write people, alright?
Stimmt auch.
Not that Walkie's paying any attention. Woo, kids.
Aber man kann zumindest froh sein, dass
Bizarre Chinese characters on cake was a fly idea like 3,000 years ago, believe that. Man, you wanna make it today, you gotta keep it real, you know what I'm saying? Yo, that's why I made the OG Cracker Dude for real. I know I don't look like no Cracker G. What you want me to call it, the OG Muffin?
Aber ich nehme an, diese Kritikpunkte, die wir jetzt so angebracht haben, haben andere Leute auch so gesehen.
I don't know where all this talk about food is coming from. You ask me, there's only one food and that is noodles.
Es ist spät, den noch einzusperren.
I'm gonna do one too. See, this time I just put a big chunk of salt in the bowl. Why, pretend those noodles is about the salt. Salt forever.
Darf ich jetzt mal weiterreden? Oder kommt jetzt direkt noch jemand? Nicht er. Den können wir auch gleich wieder einsperren, bitte.
My exceptionally inquisitive nature has won me unequal recognition in my department. You see, they used to call me Wesley Stinkler and Wesley Sticky Hands. But no longer. I have a new name, one that reflects my true academic nature. Wesley Sicko, reporting. Risk curiosity is a sickness and I am the cure.
Right. Okay, ich glaube, jetzt sagt keiner mehr was. Okay.
I don't know how to thank you for all you've done. Light has returned to my life, and with it, joy. I may have lost years, but I have gained a treasure. 2 treasures, in fact. I will think of them when I write my next song.
Sonst noch wer? Kommt bestimmt jetzt gleich noch Verland.
Brushel, 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 Brushel here, back on the beat with another interview. How do you feel about how things turned out? No scoop yet, but journalists' confidence in mint condition. And wow!
Jetzt hat ihm einfach der Kopf platzen müssen. Mit so richtig Mortal Kombat Splatter-Effekt. Das hätte ich gut gefunden.
I've decided to keep painting. Originals only, of course. I suppose I'll have to see a bit of the world outside to find what to paint. But I know there are good people out there now. I've met them. The door is open. The world is waiting. Thank you.
Oh. Mensch, das hätte ich ja zeitlich kaum besser timen können. Das ist ja nur schon wirklich krass, dass es genau um 22:59 Uhr fertig ist. Na gut. Was ich eigentlich gerade nur noch sagen wollte, war, die paar Kritikpunkte, die wir so hatten, scheinen auch andere gehabt zu haben und die Entwickler scheinen sich die immerhin irgendwo ein bisschen zu Herzen genommen zu haben, weil im nächsten Teil ja beispielsweise auch wieder Phoenix zurückgekehrt ist und nicht mehr Mr. Ich weiß alles, ich bin Mr. Mysterious Hobo spielt, sondern wieder mehr der alte Phoenix Wright ist. Und diese komische Perceive-Mechanik haben sie auch wieder rausgeschmissen. Insofern freue ich mich darauf, wenn wir dann irgendwann mal noch Teil 5 und 6 spielen. Habe ich nämlich auch viel vergessen, aber ich glaube, also Teil 5 fand ich ganz gut und ich glaube Teil 6 fand ich sogar richtig gut. Also Teil 6 fand ich damals richtig gut. Ich muss mal gucken, wie das, how it holds up nowadays. Ich meine, manchmal ändert sich ja auch der Geschmack und so weiter. Aber ich weiß noch, damals auf dem 3DS habe ich Teil 6 gespielt und war richtig begeistert davon. Teil 5 fand ich auch ziemlich cool. Auf jeden Fall auch wieder besser als 4. Aber ja, das wäre es halt erstmal für heute.